Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. For years, Kody and Robyn, the stars of Sister Wives, have been embroiled in controversy. Since getting married in 2010, the pair has grown to be one of TLC's most despised couples. Robyn was one of Kody's 4 previous spouses, and he was a practicing polygamist. But eventually, he disregarded his other 3 wives' requests, which compelled them to rebel and leave his authority. The Brown family disintegrated in the last 3 years. Even Kody's kid, Garrison Brown, sadly died after the wives abandoned him. Kody now feels nothing but profound remorse. His 4th wife has always been his favorite, but it appears that even their relationship is failing these days. Kody and Robyn are reportedly diverging, according to some industry rumors. Proof of the same was even shared by a fan. Janelle, a sister wife, calls Robyn and Kody's marriage inappropriate. Janelle Brown didn't mince words when she referred to Kody and Robyn's connection as inappropriate during the recent Sister Wives tell-all. She disclosed that they courted for more than a year. Given that Kody already had 3 wives, it didn't sit well and was far longer than is customary in polygamy. Janelle acknowledged that she probably wouldn't have married Kody if they had dated for that long. A prolonged courtship might have shown more of his true nature, she thought. In her comments, Christine also mentioned how Kody and Robyn appeared to be physically near in their engagement pictures, implying that their relationship was particularly tight even before they were married. Sister Wives, is there a problem in Kody and Robyn's marriage? Kody said he was done with polygamy during the tell-all. He is content and pleased with Robyn and no longer desires several spouses. Kody went on to compliment Robyn, describing her as a fantastic wife who has consistently shown him a great deal of loyalty. She improved him as a person and taught him many things. Fans may now plainly perceive fissures in the bond that once seemed to be ideal. Although Kody and Robyn's relationship appeared to be going well, their admirers were shaken by the recent revelation. It appears that the two are not getting along well and that the former is moving away from the latter. Kody was recently seen at the airport by himself, without his significant other. A picture of him sitting in a restaurant appearing sullen was uploaded by a user. The spectators appeared frightened, and he appeared quite angry. He had left his wife behind and was traveling to Texas. Many people speculated that Kody would be leaving Robyn following a quarrel because of this alone. He didn't seem to be in the mood to talk to anyone, and his body language was rather stiff. Additionally, fans began to speculate as to why he was at the airport without his spouse. One fan suggested that he would be visiting North Carolina to see his children again. Kody has been discussing his efforts to mend his connections with his other kids. Perhaps he is on his way to meet his children, but as everyone knows, Robyn is not thrilled about the prospect of him seeing them again. There may be a lot of disagreement between the two on this subject. Share your thoughts on the fan hypothesis with us. In his most recent cameo video, Sister Wives actor Kody Brown makes his fashion debut. Over the years, the 56-year-old has undergone some significant personal transformations. Numerous admirers think that Kody has suffered from stress, and it appears that he is finally making time for himself. To see his new appearance, continue reading. Kody Brown ends tell-all with hatred, Sister Wives. The severity of Kody's relationship with his ex-wives was demonstrated in the Season 19 tell-all section. The Sister Wives star vented his annoyance at his ex-partner's constant disparaging remarks. He's hoping they'll embrace his divine love for Robyn and move on quickly. During the one-on-one interviews, Kody has also declined to respond to some topics. Nonetheless, he has expressed his displeasure with Christine's actions. Christine has been circulating false information about him, he thinks. After it was disclosed that Christine had requested child support from Kody just days prior to the tell-all's taping, there are rumors that he was furious with her. However, it appears like Kody is now content with his life and even showed off his new appearance in spite of all the problems. Kody unveils his new look. On social media, some Sister Wives fans talked about Kody Brown's most recent cameo, in which he debuted his new appearance. The OP claims that they saw Kody's new teeth, 4 to be exact, quickly. Kody is seen grinning assuredly for his customer. Although the billboard just included a screenshot of the cameo, several people didn't like Kody's new appearance. He could have spent a bit more money rather than only obtaining 4 teeth, according to a number of comments. Additionally, it sparked rumors that Robyn might have taken advantage of Kody's finances to fund her own expenses, particularly her pricey American Girl doll collections. It appears that he could only afford 4 veneers, leaving the other teeth all brown and yellow. His holy cow must have needed to buy more doll clothes. Faced with tears of joy, Kody might be able to purchase white veneers to cover the remaining teeth if he saves up his grocery money. There is no logic to this. With his jewelry, artwork, doll collection, etc., the guy presents himself as wealthy. However, he only spends the money for 4 teeth? He aged so badly. If he can't afford to get them all the same color, money must be bad. Kody Brown's dubious sister wives cameos. Kody Brown has used cameos as a means of earning money and staying in touch with his followers. However, many people have questioned several of his cameos. His apparent shading of his older children from his earlier wives was one of them. The Sister Wives actor was giving advice to his client on safeguarding younger children, particularly from older children of a previous spouse, which was evidently his predicament. This sparked rumors that, aside from Robyn's children, Kody is no longer acting as a father to his other children. For years, viewers of Sister Wives were led to believe that if any couple could survive the wreckage of the Brown family's collapse, it would be Kody and Robyn Brown, the last couple standing, the pair who clung tightly to one another while the other marriages crumbled under the pressure of unmet expectations, emotional neglect, and the realities of plural marriage in a modern world. But now, as season 19 rolls forward with increasing transparency and emotional fallout, it's becoming painfully clear that things are falling apart between Kody and Robyn, not with fireworks and public outbursts, but with quiet resentment, subtle isolation, and the unspoken weight of too many broken promises. What once looked like a fairy tale romance, Kody's passionate connection to Robyn, his soulmate, the woman he claimed God had led him to, has begun to reveal its darker layers: codependency, power imbalance, guilt, and a suffocating narrative that no longer fits the reality they live in. With Mary gone, Christine remarried, and Janelle emotionally detached and thriving on her own, the spotlight has zeroed in on Kody and Robyn in a way that has become almost unbearable for them, especially for Robyn, who now bears the burden of being labeled the favorite, the homewrecker, the woman who won, and it's a title she never asked for, yet can't seem to shake. And perhaps worse, she can't seem to escape the consequences of it. Kody, once so confident and defiant, has become increasingly bitter, his anger turning inward and his paranoia turning toward Robyn. Where he once saw her as the haven in the storm, now he sees her as the last mirror reflecting the version of himself he can no longer maintain, and Robyn is starting to buckle under the pressure of holding up their crumbling foundation alone. Viewers have noticed it. The way she avoids eye contact in confessionals, the way her once firm defense of Kody has softened into pained silences, the way she wipes tears from her face not in sorrow, but in quiet frustration. In private footage never meant for broadcast, now leaked online through social media, fans caught audio of an argument between the two during filming where Robyn tells Kody, "I didn't sign up for this version of you," to which he coldly replies, "I didn't change, you just started seeing me clearly." The words were chilling, and they exposed what many have feared for months. The cracks are no longer small, they're gaping. Robyn, once hailed by Kody as his angel, now feels more like a reluctant caretaker, forced to comfort a man who is still grieving the loss of his polygamous dream, even as she quietly wonders whether the dream was ever truly hers. Kody, meanwhile, is spiraling. His rants have become more self-referential, more hostile, and less coherent. He lashes out about betrayal, about loyalty, about family unity, yet fails to see that the unity he demands is built on control, not love, and Robyn is no longer blind to it. Their children, particularly Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna, are beginning to notice the tension too, with Aurora even stepping back from filming in recent episodes and insiders claiming that the home isn't as peaceful as it used to be. The once sacred sanctuary of Robyn's house, the last official Brown residence, is no longer the warm, cohesive space it once was. Instead, it's a quiet battleground of repressed feelings and forced smiles. And behind the scenes, there are rumors, whispers from the crew, from production assistants, from neighbors and Flagstaff, that Robyn has been meeting with therapists privately to talk about emotional isolation, identity crisis, and fear of public perception. Her tears, once dismissed as manipulative, now seem to carry the weight of genuine confusion and exhaustion. She never wanted to be the villain. She wanted family. She wanted unity. She wanted faith. But what she got was the burden of holding together a man who refuses to look in the mirror. And Kody? Kody is trapped in a prison of his own making, mourning a version of plural marriage that he sabotaged with favoritism and pride, unable to admit that he lost his wives not to betrayal, but to neglect. And now, even Robyn, his most devoted partner, is slipping away, emotionally, if not yet physically. She no longer finishes his sentences. She no longer shields him from criticism. She no longer pretends his anger is noble. And the fans, once divided, are now rallying around a stunning new theory. Kody and Robyn may be headed for a separation, not legally perhaps, but spiritually and emotionally, the most devastating kind for people who built their identities on divine covenant. And what happens next could change the franchise forever. Will Robyn finally speak out, reclaim her narrative, and admit what she's quietly felt for years, that she was a piece on a chessboard she never designed? Or will she double down, cling to the myth, and go down with a ship that's already sunk? As the tension builds and the cameras continue to roll, one thing is heartbreakingly clear. The marriage that once stood as the strongest may now be the most fragile of them all. If fans thought Robyn Brown had reached her emotional threshold already, what came next in the quiet unraveling of her marriage to Kody Brown left even the most cynical Sister Wives viewers in stunned disbelief, because the woman who had once sobbed on national television over losing her family dream finally stopped crying and started speaking. Not as the supportive wife who once defended Kody against 3 increasingly disillusioned women, but as a person who was slowly realizing that she'd traded her independence and spiritual clarity for a man whose charisma had long since soured into resentment and control. In confessionals no one expected, Robyn began talking about identity loss, about trying too hard to protect something that doesn't exist anymore, and about the moment she knew she'd lost herself. And that moment, heartbreakingly, was not when Christine left, not when Mary quietly stepped away, and not even when Janelle stood firm against Kody's rules, but when Kody sat across from her in the kitchen, looked her dead in the eye, and blamed her for the collapse of the family, saying, "You wanted this. You begged me for this life." That accusation broke something in Robyn, not because it was true, but because deep down, she'd feared he believed it, and hearing it confirmed what she could no longer deny. She had become Kody's scapegoat, not his partner. As the cameras captured her growing emotional distance, fans noticed a stunning shift. Robyn no longer held Kody's hand reflexively during tense moments. She no longer echoed his grievances, and in some scenes, she even interrupted him to challenge his narrative, something the old Robyn would never dare to do. But this wasn't the same woman who entered the family in Season 1 as the bright-eyed fourth wife, who just wanted a big, happy plural family. This was a woman weathered by public judgment, devastated by loss, and now waking up to a painful truth, that Kody's vision of plural marriage was never truly about family unity. It was about control, about ego, and about his needs coming first. Always. And while Robyn struggled with guilt over how the family broke down around her, she began to see that no amount of loyalty could fix a man who refused to be accountable. And Kody? The deeper Robyn pulled back, the more desperate he became, but not in the way fans had hoped. Instead of acknowledging her pain, he doubled down on his self-made martyrdom, lamenting that he'd sacrificed everything, only to be abandoned, never once truly reflecting on how his behavior, his favoritism, his emotional absence with his other wives, his condescending tone with his children, had alienated those closest to him. In a moment that quickly went viral online, Kody, visibly agitated and red-faced, accused Robyn of letting the world turn her against him, while Robyn, calm but clearly done, whispered, "I didn't need the world. You did that all by yourself." The silence that followed was deafening. Fans watching at home exploded with reactions, some cheering Robyn for finally finding her voice, others stunned that the cracks in their relationship had become this publicly raw. But behind the scenes, TLC producers knew something else. This wasn't just reality TV anymore. This was the final act of a marriage in slow collapse, and the fallout would impact the entire Brown family tree. The children, already caught in the storm of divided households and strained relationships, began to pull away even more. Brianna and Aurora, once so publicly close to Kody, stopped appearing on screen as often. Insiders claim both girls had begun therapy and were emotionally distancing themselves from the cameras and from Kody's escalating mood swings. Dayton, now a young adult, had allegedly moved in with his biological father in Houston, further destabilizing Robyn's household and forcing her to confront the possibility that the only family she had left was fracturing before her eyes. As this unfolded, Christine, now happily remarried and glowing with freedom, responded subtly but pointedly during an Instagram live, saying, "Sometimes people stay loyal to pain because it's the only story they've ever told themselves," and fans immediately knew who she meant. Mary, too, weighed in cryptically, posting a photo of herself alone at a mountaintop with the caption, "When peace is the priority, you stop apologizing for leaving chaos behind." And Janelle? She didn't even pretend to be shocked. During her own film sit-down, she said bluntly, "This was never sustainable. Kody thought control was leadership. It never was." But if anyone thought Robyn would simply walk away, that she would pack her bags and exit the marriage as the others had, they underestimated just how deep her internal battle truly ran. She wasn't just grappling with heartbreak. She was facing a crisis of faith, a shattering of everything she'd built her life around. For years, she believed her union with Kody was ordained, divinely inspired, the culmination of a spiritual path she had prayed over. Now, she was realizing that she may have built her entire adult life on a man's vision, not God's. And what that meant for her future, her self-worth, and her ability to trust again, was still unknown. But she was no longer afraid to ask the question aloud, and once you ask the question, the truth starts unraveling fast. TLC, meanwhile, is in a panic. What was once the show's last functional couple is clearly no longer functional at all, and executives are scrambling behind the scenes to either reframe the season as a redemption arc, with Kody groveling and Robyn hesitantly staying, or lean fully into the drama and allow viewers to witness the entire disintegration of what once looked like love. And viewers? They are riveted. Social media is ablaze with hashtags like #RobynDeservesPeace and #KodyIsThe common denominator. Reddit threads are dissecting body language, emotional patterns, old quotes, and the overwhelming consensus is this: Kody is finally alone, not physically, not legally, but in the most devastating way, emotionally and spiritually. Even Robyn has stopped defending him. And the man who once had 4 wives, dozens of children, a book deal, and the public's begrudging respect, now sits in a crumbling home, surrounded by silence, asking himself what viewers have been screaming at their screens for years. Was it worth it? When Kody Brown appeared in a recent Sister Wives episode sporting a dazzling new smile, bright, uniform, and unmistakably enhanced, fans across the internet erupted into a frenzy of reactions that ranged from unfiltered laughter to intense speculation, not because the cosmetic change was inherently shocking, but because for a man who has spent the better part of 2 seasons unraveling emotionally on national television, the sudden debut of a flawless set of front teeth felt like both a midlife reinvention and a desperate attempt to reassert control in a life where he's lost nearly everything: 3 marriages, multiple children's trust, and the very foundation of the plural lifestyle he once ruled with patriarchal certainty. The reveal wasn't even scripted as a major storyline. There was no formal announcement, no confessional about dental work, no emotional reasoning given on camera. Instead, it was a blink-and-you'll-gasp moment during a confessional when Kody turned to the side and flashed a grin that fans hadn't seen before. Gone were the gapped, worn, and slightly crooked front teeth that had become as iconic as his lion's mane of curls. In their place were two gleaming veneers, so bright they practically had their own lighting department. And just like that, the man who once prided himself on his rugged authenticity was reborn with a dentist's version of a redemption arc, and viewers couldn't decide if it was hilarious, tragic, or the boldest move of the season so far. Social media exploded. TikTok creators stitched before and after comparisons while lip-syncing to dramatic audio clips of Robyn crying. Reddit threads with titles like "Kody's new chompers. What is he trying to prove?" hit hundreds of comments in minutes. Twitter, never one to hold back, immediately coined terms like #CodyVeneers, #Toothgate, and the now viral phrase "from polygamous to polished." But beneath the jokes and memes was a deeper, more biting question. What does this change really mean? For a man who has always claimed to value spiritual growth over superficial appearance, Kody's gleaming new dental debut struck many longtime fans as a signal of inner turmoil, a man scrambling to redefine himself now that his kingdom has crumbled and his throne sits empty. After all, Kody's fall from grace hasn't been quiet.